Hello, today we're going to be taping our athlete here for hyperextension. So for this one, you will need, the materials you'll need are an elastic non-tear tape. And yeah, so getting right to it, I gotta get the scissors, my skizzers, which are in my fanny pack on the stairs, because it's non-tear tape, so yeah. Open it up. Scissors. Put this down. Because otherwise you won't be able to cut it. So, for this tape job, again, the materials you'll need are elastic non-tear tape. For an athlete like this, he's a pretty big guy, you would ideally use this. However, I don't think I have enough to finish the tape job. So I am going to demonstrate with the thinner variant. The technique will be just the same. So first things first, we're going to check PMS. We're going to ask our pre-tape eval as well. Have you been taped before?
Yep.
Yeah? Are you allergic to any tape or sprays?
Nope.
No? Alrighty. And now we check PMS. So for this, we go to his hand, check his cap refill. Okay. Next thing we do, have wiggle his fingers. All right. For the hand, you have to be a little more specific. So for PMS, you have to check all three nerves innervating the hand, which are the ulnar, radial, and median nerves. So for this, can you feel that? Can you feel that?
Yep.
Can you feel that?
Yep.
Alrighty. So right off the bat, I'm going to have him roll up his sleeve because the tape is kind of going to go around his arm here and here. That's kind of where we want it to anchor around. So I'm going to pass him the phone while I do the tape job. So for this, when I'm going around your bicep, I need you to contract your bicep.
Okay.
So yeah, just flex it as best you can. So right off the bat, anchor strip, going around, coming around one more time. Now come down over the cubital fossa, coming around, flexing your forearm. Thank you. And now back up over the cubital fossa and keep flexing the bicep when I'm going around it. Yeah. And now I'm just going to cut it here. So additional things we can do for this tape job. If this isn't enough support, you can either add more layers or use a stiff tape. This tape has some give to it, which is nice for the athlete because they still get dynamic motion. So for example, he's a basketball player. He still needs to be able to extend his arm, and this won't so much stop that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of resisting at the end of the motion, stopping that hyperextension, but it allows you to move your arm through its full range, whereas the zinc oxide variant will just be a little more restrictive. How does it feel so far?
Good.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Not too tight?
Nope.
Okay, we're going to recheck PMS. So hold out your hand. Okay. Do you feel that?
Yep.
Do you feel that?
Yep.
Do you feel that?
Yep.
Can you wiggle your fingers? Alrighty. So now we're going to go through our sport-specific functional testing. So he's a basketball player. So the first thing I'm going to have him do is some fast uniaxial movements. So just some flexion, extension of the bicep or the arm. There we go. The next thing we're going to do is multi-axial movements. So I'm going to kind of have him do sort of a dribbling motion. You play what position actually?
Point guard.
Point guard? What does a point guard do typically?
Pass the ball and shoot.
Okay. So why don't we go through a passing motion then? Yeah. Okay. Do that 3 to 5 times. Do different variants. Yeah. Bounce pass, a direct pass, whatever.
Throwing a lob.
Yep. Why don't we also go through a shooting motion? Because you're going to be taking shots as well. Going up for layups. Maybe practice like the layup motion of the arm. Next thing, we're going to move faster uniaxial or multi-axial movements. So for this, I'm going to have him go full speed sort of with his arm with the passing motion. There we go. Next, I'm going to test agility and balance for the arm. So for his arm, I want you to touch my hand. This is the agility testing. Touch my hand with your fingers.
Hang on, I can't see my hair
Okay,
poke me in the
no,
eye.
It's okay.
Okay.
Go. Oh, okay. Next, we're going to do balance. So for this, you can have them hold out their arm straight, but that'll test the shoulder. So I'm going to have him have his arm at his side, sort of like that. All right. Don't let me push your arm around. So this just... I'm testing his balance with his arms. Pretty good. Next, we're going to add equipment. So do you wear a compression sleeve over your, or shooting sleeve?
No.
No? Alrighty. Next, we're going to get him in his equipment. So for basketball, it'd be ball shoes, Jerry, like whatever he wears for practice, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have him go through some functional motions for the sport, potentially going for a layup. I'd practice having him go for a layup without the ball, passing without the ball, you know, moving around the court without the ball sort of thing. Next, we would move on to adding the ball. So this would be a layup with the ball, passing to a player, that sort of thing. The next thing we would do is we'd recreate a game situation. So we'd have him going to go for a layup or passing while being covered, sort of thing. And then lastly, we would have a recreation of the mechanism. So for a hyperextension, one mechanism is a foosh injury. So a foosh injury is falling on an outstretched hand. Yeah, that can do it. So essentially to recreate that mechanism, we'd sort of create a situation where he could potentially fall. So for example, being guarded by a physical defenseman or a physical guy on the court would be probably as close to recreating the mechanism as we could get. That is the tape job.